What are you going to get out of it? What are you putting into it? Because that's really the first thing you need to ask. What are you putting into it? What are you putting into your lives outside of this academy? Is this you? You don't have a plan for your life? You're only given one of these things. Like, you're not going to get another chance to live this thing. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. If that's hard to hear, I'm sorry. It's the truth. You're not going to get another chance to live this thing that we call life. You get one, and you're in it right now. It already started. The gun has gone off. You are running this race. My friend, you flew a long way to come here. I owe you one. You're our volunteer. Let's go. Etienne, do you like money? I don't know if you can actually spend this in Luxembourg, but you'll be able to spend it here, hopefully, if you earn it. How about $5? I'd like you to hold this just like that, okay? Now, Etienne, you see this wall right here? Come stand under here. I want you to jump as high as you can and put that tape on the wall whenever you're ready. Oh. Etienne, jump and get that one, please, right now. He needs some positive encouragement. Okay, so let's give him a little something. I'm going to prove the power of positive thinking. Etienne.
Enjoy life is basically the essence of finding your true self while picking other people's up while you do that.
Enjoy Life is a leadership academy that teaches you how to be positive. It teaches you how to be happy.
You have to really be in the culture to fully understand it. It's almost impossible to summarize the whole week and all the curriculum into one sentence.
If I had to do it in one word, I would say powerful. Everyone knows that we're all a part of something bigger than ourselves, and it's just really special.
The Enjoy Life Leadership Academy creates a space where people can find themselves and become comfortable with themselves to later on influence others and become positive leaders of the world.
The world needs compassionate people, and you should try to find them, and more importantly, you should try to be one.
For me, as I think about Enjoy Life, and as I think about everything that this academy stands for and everything it's about, we can't just give you that. We can't just make you genuinely happy. But what we can do is we can give you the skills and we can give you the community to try to work towards that.
I was introduced to the curriculum first in 8th grade when I had Everett as a science teacher. And before I even knew about the academy, just in his class, he would incorporate little things like starred thoughts.
I walked in on the first day, and from the ceiling there was hanging one orange piece of paper, and it said, "The surest way to happiness is to give it to someone else." And that is my favorite starred thought, and I don't know, that's kind of where it all started.
And then when he actually introduced the program and said he was going to be running something that was just going to be all this fun stuff, all these starred thoughts and everything, I knew how to jump on the opportunity, and along with many of my classmates, I signed up, and this is now my 5th academy, I believe, so I'm just going to keep going as long as I can.
I was introduced 2012 And that's when my life changed. Evren, Tom, and Tara, and the ELTs, and the elves, they all came into my life, and they made me a better person. I can't thank them enough.
I think you can apply your journey as part of Enjoy Life and as part of trying to live this lifestyle to sailing on a sailboat. Here's how I would say my sailboat looked in 8th grade when I first met Evren. I saw Evren. He seemed like he was driving a pretty cool sailboat. He was this happy guy running all around. That was what his sailboat looked like to me. And I was like, I want to get on that boat. I want to go along for that ride. And so he was like, all right, here you go. Here's an orange bracelet. Let's do it. Get your boat. Come meet me over here. And I jumped in the only boat I had, and I didn't have a sail, so I grabbed an umbrella and I said, let's go, Evren. Where are we going?
It's about we together. It's not about I and me, it's about us. What can we do? How can I help all of us? How can we do something for everyone? We are together in this world. We, us. Us. It's about all of us. It's not about me. It's about us, we together, and we can do it all. It's we, and it's us, and it's us, and it's we. Let's go out and be a part of history. We, us. We, us. We can do anything.
Evren brings so much to the table. His energy and his positivity just makes the entire room focus on him and makes everyone feel comfortable. And I think that's really important, especially with students being in their mid-teens and being a high school student in a time in their life where maybe they're a little in their awkward phase, or maybe they're just trying to fit in. But he brings to the table a place and a reason to have them be their true selves.
Everyone and the staff are amazing. They all have amazing backstories. They're all inspirational. They're some of my best heroes in my life, and I feel like they're the reason why I push myself every day.
Evren, Tom said it before, Evren is a 5-year-old trapped in a 30-year-old body. He's so happy, he's so enthusiastic, he smiles all the time. His energy pours out of him.
I mean, we all go through things in our lives, and Evren is not different in that. And he is still so positive in every situation, and he just tries to make you feel good about yourself no matter what. He can turn any situation about anyone else other than himself, and that just empowers everyone to be the best version of themselves.
So that man, that beautiful, star-thought, incredible man is on a track to change all of our lives.
I think the most important thing we can do as ELTs is to just enable the students and empower the students to be who they are. One of the biggest philosophies of our staff is that every student is really, really incredible already, and what we're doing is just unlocking and bringing out that greatness. So just believing in them and letting them be themselves is one of our biggest strategies.
Just getting high-fived every day and getting compliments from the other staff really brings your spirit up and just wants to make you happy and high-five more, and then it all spreads and it's just such a great feeling.
So my first year I had in my squad this she was nervous and you could tell she just wasn't comfortable yet with herself. On Monday, she just didn't want to participate. She was very sweet. And then by Friday, she was raising her hand in big group and she came up after me and she gave me a hug. I'm all about the hugs. And she was so happy and she was talking to people, she was meeting new people, and I was like, oh, like, that's why we do what we do.
The really cool part is that, and this is what I've gotten to learn from Evren, which makes me even more excited the more and more I do this, is I think originally when I met Evren, I told you this was Evren. And now, that's Evren.
Hello everybody, my name is Mrs. Smith. I'm gonna be your English teacher this year. It's gonna be the best year of your life. It's my first year teaching. I am so excited. You're gonna learn more than you've ever learned in your whole lives. Let's get started. And then the students look like all of you look right now. Bored. And so Mrs. Smith sees boring from a collective group of 25, and she gets a little more boring. Because the attitude you give is the one that you...
I've been to a lot of leadership stuff. I've been involved in student mentorship programs in college and high school. I mean, between his use of Dory and his different stories and the different activities and the way he weaves challenges into the week, I've never seen something quite like what Evren does.
This academy isn't something that was just thrown together overnight. This is something that's been over 10 years in the making through all different experiences that Evren has gone through.
The academy compared to my average day of school is super different, I'd say. We have so much energy here. It's crazy, actually.
So a day at school, I wake up in the morning at 6:30 and I put my alarm on snooze and I'm like, ugh, I have to wake up. Like, I don't want to, I'm warm in bed, and here it's like, oh my gosh, it is 6:30. In an hour, I'm gonna be walking downstairs, I'm gonna be having breakfast. Like, what kind of amazing thing is for breakfast today? And then I see Evren, and I see Tom, and I see the staff, and I see all the other campers, and I just get so excited because everybody's smiling, and it makes me smile even bigger than I would at home. At home, I'd be like, hey guys, like, what's up? But here I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready for the day. It just makes me so happy.
It's just amazing how much the difference you feel in a teacher who sits down and just throws facts at you and has a PowerPoint, and a teacher who gets up and moves and they just throw everything at you with all they have. They just use 100% of their energy, 100% of the time, and it just resonates with you more. It makes you think back on it. At school, sometimes it's just a bunch of facts that you have to memorize, but with Evren, it's real life examples.
It's very different. I mean, at school, there's like so much negative energy, and here everyone's trying to push you up. There are people in school who are limiting you down, and there's challenges that are tough to overcome. Here, there's so much energy and positivity that I feel like no challenge can stop me, really.
This is something that I genuinely look forward to every single time I come. Like, I can't wait to wake up in the morning, even if I'm running on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I always have so much energy. I never sit down in a lecture and just slump down and listen the whole time. I always feel like the need to be engaged, like I want to listen, I really want to pay attention. And in school, I'd go through the motions each day, but I'm really coming to the Enjoy Life Leadership Academy, and I'm soaking up as much as I can and really, I think, changing myself as a person and not just learning new material.
When I go to school, I learn about something and then I kind of go home and study it just for the sake of going over it for school purposes and homework and tests and stuff like that. But the curriculum at Enjoy Life is kind of just something that really sticks with you throughout your whole life, and it's with some amazing people that you love, so it's really kind of unforgettable.
At the average day at school, I walk down the hallways and I maybe have the occasional wave to my friend, and I'm kind of just walking and keeping my head down. Here, you cannot walk down the hallways without getting a high five from every single person, screaming your head off, and just being so happy. And everyone you're surrounded with is learning the same way you are and just really wants to get everything they can out of every single moment, and I love that.
It's not school, it's not a camp, it's an academy. but more so it's the lifestyle. You come in and you go out a different person, and you learn from everybody else collectively, and then you learn to understand that you're not alone, that what we do, it's not just for yourself, it's for everyone. We are the followers, but we are the leaders at the same time. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
You have to know at your age, at this young age, we care about you. That's the reason. We care about your growth. We believe in you. It's a lot of work that we do here, but it's because you're going to do something awesome for yourselves, because you can't lead others, so you can first lead yourself. And then you're going to do stuff for others. You're going to inspire the next generation of leaders. I can't wait. I can't wait. 2-3 years from now, our next generation of ELTs and ALPs, they're going to be your faces. Some of you are going to be there. Hopefully all of you. And you're going to want to give it back, because that's what leaders do. You don't have followers. You inspire new leaders.
The squads have to complete a challenge. They're all sort of different, so some are analytical, some more you have to have physical strength, some more you have to work as a team.
I think that there's a lot of different types of leadership in these groups of people and these groups of high schoolers who are just figuring out what kind of leaders they are. The variety of the challenges really tests different styles of leadership.
There was this activity called the balloon caterpillar, where you had to stay compact and you couldn't move around, otherwise the balloon in between two people would fall. And we didn't succeed, but that most likely was our best challenge, because we worked together, we tried everyone's ideas, and you know what? We had a really good time.
The squad challenge I'll be doing is when you had to build a tent with only one arm, and there's a captain that could talk, but he couldn't touch anything, and the other people couldn't talk, but they only had one arm to build a tent. So after you built the tent, you would have to play a game of memory, and then you would have to take down the tent and fit it in a little bag. And we completed it with 30 seconds to spare, and it was a time where we all worked together, and we all achieved it as a goal, even though only one of us could talk, but we did it very well. I believe we're probably the most proud of that one.
So I think the helium stick challenge, it really, the concepts that you get out of it really relate to things that you face in life. It's one of the most difficult challenges that the Enjoy Life Leadership Academy has, and it just shows that in adverse situations you have to keep a positive outlook on it and keep trying and keep going after something.
One of the biggest lessons that you learn in all of the squad challenges at the Leadership Academy is that the best leader isn't always the loudest. You learn that there are many ways to lead, not just with your voice. So I think that in real life that transfers into being a kind person or being a good listener or going out of your way to make somebody's day. Leadership is a series of actions. It's not just a person sitting in front of a podium.
Jumping out of the plane.
It adds a little bit of spice into the academy, and it allows everyone to kind of have fun and challenge themselves and challenge each other.
There are two categories of things in life that we focus on. One of them is called the uncontrollables, and one is called the controllables. We're going to take it back to the uncontrollables. Take a few moments in your journals. We'll give you about 30 seconds, and I'd like you to come up with a list of all the things in life that you have no control over.
Time is up. Please stand up and find someone in your vicinity and share your list with them. Ready, set, go. First and last name?
Patrick Bird and age.
Age, ooh, yeah. Can't go back and get some more of that or change that one up at all. You are what you are, and that's all that you are. Let's finish this row out.
Someone Franciscini and your death.
Your death? Absolutely. That day's gonna come. Make sure that you make the most of your life now, because you want to make sure at the end of it, you're like, yeah, that was a good ride. In the history of the Leadership Academy, no one has ever said this. Absolutely 100% true though. We cannot control the Earth's rotation. Fascinating. Superman can. Didn't he make it go backwards in one of those episodes? You got two options of things you can control. The now and the here. Let's play some catch. You like catch? You just had everything in your control. You don't have to worry about anything falling. It's just, oh, all of life. That's just so easy. That's not life. And we all know that. Stand up if you've ever faced a challenge or an adversity. Yeah, it's more like this. You're thinking about your future like, oh, I don't want to screw it up. I'm so scared about the future. Let the uncontrollables just drop and only focus on one thing in your life, the here and now. Just focus on the orange marker. See if you can let that one into your heart. Let the others just fall. 3, 2, 1. My man. Well done. Awesome. And a lot of people that are diagnosed with depression, a lot of the cases are due to people that focus on uncontrollables. You lose your confidence when you focus on the UCs. You lose your happiness when you focus on the UCs. You lose your enthusiasm. You lose your optimism. And we're trying to create a generation of people that are more powerful than the previous generation. All of you. It's about having relentless optimism and having the ability to overcome and maybe find opportunities in the challenges you face. Those are the leaders of the world, the people that do it better. Have a seat. So this little series is going to be fun because each ELT is going to share with you something in their lives that is meaningful, where they may have overcome something, where they faced a challenge, had a little resilience to it, and maybe you might learn something from them too.
When I was 9 years old, my parents sat me down with my sister and I, and they told me that they were getting a divorce. I remember kind of feeling really down and kind of feeling like, why do I deserve to be happy when everyone around me is kind of not happy and depressed? Why am I obsessing over the what and the why when I should really be focusing on how? How am I going to embrace this? How am I going to move past this? One of my friends who had done Enjoy Life in the past, I said, hey, why don't you do this? And I was like, okay, kind of just looking for a pick-me-up, so I was really down to try whatever. So that was the summer before my junior year of high school. And that year, I think it really resonated with me because the curriculum kind of helped me realize that it's okay to kind of take that time and to care for yourself and to build yourself up. Typically, people think about adversity as a hurdle they have to jump over, run away from, and then never kind of look back on. Some might think of adversity as a brick wall that they have to break through, or go over, or go around, and then escape from it. The new way that I've decided to think about adversity is to think about it as an experience that strengthens you.
See, here's the deal. Sit up nice and straight. Look the part. You're going to go through your whole lives. You got your whole lives ahead of you. You want to be a leader? You're gonna have to take risks. You're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. You're gonna have to face things where, you know what, something bad might happen.
It sounded like an awesome gig. And I went in and I talked to this director, and she was describing all the things she did to me. And on paper, it sounded really, really cool. Like, logistically, it sounds awesome. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, I should be so psyched about this. This sounds so perfect for me. What's missing? And I couldn't figure out in my brain what was missing, but my stomach and my heart knew that something was. So I went to the bathroom during my lunch break, and I did what any mature adult working a full-time job would do in that situation, and I called my mommy and I cried. One of the biggest lessons that the Leadership Academy taught me was to expand my comfort zone and never be afraid to go for something that I really believe in. This past semester, I actually switched my major in college, which was really scary because admitting your dreams and admitting what you really, really want to do brings the risk of failure, and that can be really, really intimidating. But with the lessons that the Leadership Academy taught me, I knew that expanding my comfort zone was the way to go, and pursuing the major that I wanted to be in was what I should be doing. And she's like, well, why don't you do something else? Like, you've always had business kind of in your mind, and I don't think you've ever really considered anything else. And I said, well, I don't know what I want to do. And she said, Riley, everyone knows what they want to do. They might just not have figured it out yet.
And if you're gonna live a very passive, meaningless life, you can do that. Just don't ever take a risk, don't ever get outside of your comfort zone, and you'll just go through life, and your life will be very much like this. But if you go after things and realize, look, there's risks to this, there's also huge reward, and I'm gonna take that, and you know what? I might hit an extreme high, and I might hit an extreme low after it too. But guess what? I'd rather have a life like this that goes like this. This is so much better than this. Because you know what this means? On like one of those heart rate monitors, you're dead. I'd rather have one of these things going all the time through my life. My heart is pumping like crazy. Than So face rejection. Because, you know, as a leader in your opportunities and your experiences, yeah, you're going to have rejection there, and you'll learn from it, and you'll grow from it. You'll face adversity and challenges. You'll learn and grow from them. And in your dating life, you know, rejection's great, because as soon as you get rejected by someone, all it really does is open up an opportunity for you to find somebody better.
But one key thing to loving anything, loving anyone, is it has to be genuine. It has to come from you. You have to love yourself first. And you can't give away everything in the process of loving somebody else.
Oh boy, the things I do just to see you smile. Like mama and her wide-eyed child. And so when you push me away, it drives me wild. 'Cause I only wanted the best for my baby.
Daisies. That was a song I wrote to just feel what I was feeling, to be bummed, to be devastated, to be let down by those people that I put up on a pedestal. And honestly, there is nothing that makes me feel better than being sad sometimes. And that's something that you guys should really take in and be okay with, because for me, I know that with this academy and with all the people that I love and the people that I want to influence around me, I like to be happy all the time. I love it. I love being happy. I love love. I love hugs. I love donuts. You know, all that good stuff. But it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be human. So start that. Allow yourself permission to be human.
So a new thing we did this year was we did the stories of resilience with the staff members, and it was incredible to see everyone's story and how Enjoy Life has really resonated differently with everyone, because it doesn't really stick with people the same way.
And he said, I want you to know that last night, Mrs. Parker passed away. Now, Mrs. Parker was that teacher. This is one of the first big tragedies I had to face, one of the first adversities I had to go through. something hurt and it was painful. I didn't know what it was. And I went to the funeral and my friends were there. And then as the funeral went on, the pain got worse. And I didn't know what it was. And I was trying to figure it out. And I'm going through things in my head. And the funeral ended and it came to me. This pain I was feeling was regret. Regret. And it was regret from not telling Mrs. Parker how I ever felt about her. I never thanked her for being the best teacher I ever had. Again, I took her for granted. I took her for granted. I'll have plenty of time someday to say, thank you, Mrs. Parker. You've really had a huge impact on my life. I'll thank her someday. But I got more important things to do right now. I gotta think about I and me.
Something like this in your life, when you experience something so tragic or so much loss or so much hardship, it's like a huge tidal wave just coming in and hitting you. And if you're driving your sailboat, you can't just be like, oh, that's a huge tidal wave and I'm just not gonna worry about it over there that's coming right in my boat. Like, you have to deal with it, you have to embrace it.
Leaders are at their best when times are at their worst.
It was a Saturday, and I was working in Boston. I was at my office, and I got a call from my aunt, and she said, I need you to get in your car right now and drive home. My dad's never been into guns at all. He is not a violent person at all. I'd never seen him get in a fight or even get aggressive with anyone. After doing that and seeing that, my dad got into his car and he took his own life. And this is what my aunt told me once I got home.
And I went in thinking that I was going to be a rock for him. And I showed up, and the moment that I hugged him, I realized that I was just leaning on him. And that's just what he does. That's just who he is.
I can honestly tell you guys that it's because of this curriculum, and it's because of what I've learned from Evren, and it's because of what I've learned from all the other ELTs and all my friends that have gone through this. This is the only reason I've been able to get through the last year and a half.
The goal for all of you is very simple. Leave here a better person than when you arrived. That's it. Leave here on Friday a better person than when you arrived. And when I say better, in what ways? In what ways? What can you improve about yourself in this week? What are some of the things that you can take from this? What can you do to make sure that when you leave here on Friday, your sailboat is a little bit bigger, a little bit more complex, and able to handle a little bit of a bigger sea? Because let me tell you something, the bigger the boat you have, the more of this beautiful world you can go explore. But it also means you better be ready to weather much bigger storms.
How many people own one of these, like a nice journal that you keep with you in your back pocket, and you go to the beach and you're like, ooh, and you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, ah, and you're hanging out before bed and you're like, ooh.
I think it's really important to kind of figure out yourself throughout this whole process, and I think it's important to work on yourself and better yourself so that you can better other people, because I think you can't really help other people and help them become and reach their full potential if you don't reach your own full potential. So the self-reflection really encourages everyone to dig a little bit deeper.
We do self-reflections every day just so you can really take what you're learning and apply it to yourself.
You learn a ton of information here. He just throws golden nuggets right at you all day long. So you have to take time to think about all the curriculum, and then you have to take situations from your life and relate them.
People that self-reflect get to know who they are. They get to know their strengths, their weaknesses, what they need to improve, where they want to go. You can't lead others so you can first lead yourself.
What is going on with people? Your attitude is a choice. But you have so much power over people in your life. The one you give is the one that you get. What you put in is what you get out. So when you go in your classrooms, when you're around your friends, especially in school with teachers, you can't just be boring to them because you're going to get boring in return. You have to sit up straighter in your classrooms. You got to be more bright with your friends. Sit up nice and straight. Come on, get your back off the back of the seat. Right up to the edge. Get the edge going. Come on. Get the edge going. Sit up straight. Try this one just once in your life, for God's sakes. Ready, set, smile.
When I wake up in the morning, I'll think that my attitude determines the attitude I get back from other people. So I'll make sure I'm aware of that as I go into a new day of school, a day of classes, a day of not your most interesting stuff all the time, but if you have a positive mentality, it really affects your day.
The attitude that you have is a choice you make. And there's a huge difference between constant positivity and relentless optimism. Start thought. Leaders have relentless optimism.
Attitude is a choice. I think about that every day when I get up in the morning because it's also emphasized that attitude is a daily choice. So just because you made a bad decision with your attitude the day before doesn't mean that you don't have a new day to start over and be a positive leader.
Are you giving yourself the 31%, or are you giving yourself a handicap by not?
My biggest takeaway is the power of positive thinking, just that 31%, where if you're positive and you believe that you can do it, you're 31% more likely to get that energy boost and be able to do it.
You're not going to get very far in life without an attitude of optimism. You can't max out everything that you can be unless you harness that one. So think about that as you go through your life and you face your challenges and you face your adversities.
My favorite thing about this academy is that every single time you come to it, whether you are Evren or Tara or myself running it, whether you're an ELT or you're an ELF, whether you're Riley and you've literally done this like 500 times before, I know that's the incorrect use of the word literally, or whether it's your first time ever here, every single time you come to this, you're gonna get something different out of it based on where you're at in your life and what you're currently going through and the experiences that you're currently having.
So last year there was this speech given and it was about there's no such thing as a happy place because happiness lives in your heart. And that stayed with me for so long because everybody always tells you, you know, go to your happy place, whether it's the beach or the mountain or something like that. But really, if you're truly, truly happy, it shouldn't be a person or a place that makes you happy. It's you yourself and it's what you do. And that was just phenomenal. That made me so happy to hear.
This might sound like a big statement, but I fully believe that all of the opportunities that have come to me in my life, I would not have taken full advantage of were it not for the skills that the Leadership Academy gave me. Every internship that I saw an application for, every group that I wanted to try out for, I don't know that I would have been brave enough or forward-thinking enough to take those risks to better myself had I not been a part of the Leadership Academy.
I think that I wouldn't have the confidence in myself to make the decisions that I make and feel that I'm doing what I truly want to do in life without ELL.
It really clicked for me, I think, the second day last year, and I just really started getting into it. I started volunteering and dancing full out in the dance parties, and that's when it really hit me, the full power of the potential of the program.
The program really clicked for me probably the second day we were here, when we were just talking about attitude and how you can choose your attitude, and every day when you wake up, it's your decision to be positive and happy, and it was really a defining moment for me.
When I was a senior in high school, I was training for an Ironman. So when I was getting closer to the race, my training became harder and harder and harder. And at one point, I ended up getting really bad shin splints. I thought I actually fractured my shin. And at this point, I was super negative. I thought there's no way I'm gonna do the race. Training for 7 prior months was gonna be all for nothing. I was just down in the dumps. I had no idea what to do. But then I went back into my journal and I looked at all the start thoughts and all the curriculum and all the things that Everin has taught me. And the one that resonated with me the most was to always have a positive attitude with everything you do. And I got better, I trained, and I finished the race.
I mean, there are a lot of takeaways in this academy. I mean, you learn a lot here. It's completely different, and I love it. My favorite star thought would have to be, the only limitations you have are fear. And I feel like that one resonates with me, and I've taken it everywhere I go.
My favorite star thought is, what you put in is what you get out, because there's a sense of magic that you see when a kid who normally doesn't really talk that much comes out of his comfort zone and he unleashes his inner potential and really becomes his true self. That, I think, is the most beautiful thing you could ever happen to anyone.
The thing I kind of talked about that I love most about this program is how every time you come through it, you get something different out of it. And so when Everin asked me to talk, I did what I always do before I talk, which is I go through my Start Thought notebook and I think about the one Start Thought that most resonates with me that I want to use to frame this talk. And this time the one I chose was one that you gave us in 8th grade, which was 12 years ago, because I'm super old now. And so I got this Start Thought 12 years ago, wrote it down. I've never come back to it. It's never been one that stood out a lot to me. And this time it was the one that was jumping off the page that I was like, this is the Start Thought I have to give. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails, if you know how.
Your must is your purpose in life. Musts make you look at life like it's an adventure that you cannot wait for.
After learning everything Everin has taught me, it's resonated with me, and I've become a happier person. And I go through life and I see so many people are negative and are sad with their lives. They're not happy. They go to their 9-to-5 job and they just go through the motions, and they're waiting for retirement, and then they can be happy. So they're putting their happiness away in the future. But I feel like my purpose is to go and show people that they can be happy now.
You're in the power stance. Thank you, Josh's mom. And we're gonna hold that for about 2 minutes while I talk about happiness. So Eliza, you out there, you got your watch on? All right, cool, 2 minutes. So people overuse the word happiness a lot. And sure, things like Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl, I'm happy. I go to a great Justin Bieber concert, I'm happy. I go to a great party with friends, I'm happy. Those are very short-term things that bring you happiness in the moment. And the happiness that I want to talk about is genuine happiness. That's the happiness where you can sit by yourself without your phone, without watching Netflix, without any distractions, and really be content with the person that you are.
The goal is just to keep it up as long as you can. That's the goal. Keep it balanced on your finger like this as long as you can. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to make sure that your eyes are always fixed on that point where the stick touches your finger. Right there, my friend. Okay, you can, it's all yours now. You just set that up. And let's see how long you can do this for. If it falls, it falls. Don't try and grab it if it falls. Keep your eyes right on that point. Oh, 5, that's pretty good. That was good. All right, that was about 5 seconds. Let's see if you can beat it. Ready, set, go. Yep. Now this is where front row is bad. 4 seconds. Going backwards, my friend. Not very good. Try it again. And begin. Oh, yeah, that is 3 seconds. Andrew, everything we preach at the Leadership Academy is about growth. And you're doing the opposite here.
And remember what my mom said about how what you want to do and what you're meant to do, it's already in there. It's already right inside of you. And once you get rid of those shoulds that are holding you back and those fears that are keeping you in your tiny comfort zone, you can have all this space to activate your must.
As a teacher, you just got to be able to work on the fly. As a leader, you got to be able to change things up. You don't just keep trying the same thing over and over and over. It keeps failing. You got to try something new. So I'm just going to get creative with you. We're just going to do a little improv here. I got to fix this show. You ready?
Yes.
I want you to do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Balance on your finger as long as you can.
Yep.
This time, I want your eyes, instead of being down here on the stick, I want them to be fixed right on the top of the stick at all times. All right, let's see. We'll just try something new here. Just keep your eyes on the top of the stick, and you can begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Can you make it to a minute? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. 1 minute. Nice job. Nice job. This is not fair. Why does everyone else seem to have it all together and I can't do anything? It's because you have no goal. You have no vision. You're not seeing where it's going, so you can't make any adjustments along the way. Start thought. Leaders have goals. Give me your eyes. Our time is running out at the Leadership Academy. Moments are flying by. What are you going to get out of it? What are you putting into it? Because that's really the first thing you need to ask. What are you putting into it? What are you putting into your lives outside of this academy? Is this you? You don't have a plan for your life? You're only given one of these things. Like, you're not going to get another chance to live this thing. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. If that's hard to hear, I'm sorry, it's the truth. You're not going to get another chance to live this thing that we call life. You get one, and you're in it right now. It already started. The gun has gone off. You are running this race. Are you just going to run it blindly, looking down all the time with absolutely nothing of where you're going, and no passion, and no drive, no purpose? Figure it out. Figure it out. It's inside of us all. I hate that quote, find your purpose. Go find your purpose. Has anyone seen my purpose? Did you steal my purpose again? Oh, it's not in there. Tom, what'd you do with my purpose? I can't find it anywhere. Is it under your, lift up your feet. It's not there either. I can't find my purpose. If you're looking for it from outside of you, you're never gonna find it. You already have it in you. You just got to activate it. It's in you. Everyone knows what they want to do with their lives. Everyone knows the person they want to be. Sit up straight. But it's up to you to activate it. I know, I figured mine out, and I'm telling you, it's a great feeling. I love this whole Leadership Academy thing. I love leadership education. I just love to live life. My purpose. And once you have it, man, it is a fun ride.